All right, welcome to another edition of Go with the Flow with Swalo. This is Jaihon Spivey. This is someone that has motivated a lot of people around the world, not just myself, not just himself, but I met him on Clubhouse maybe 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago, I guess to say. Um, but to have met Jay is very, very inspiring and phenomenal. If you have not met someone like Jay that has been blessed to be a blessing to others, yeah, I don't even want to wait to even, introduce him or have him to speak because this is something that's been a long time coming. We've been, MIA on the podcast since May, had a little accident, had a little setback, but now here we are. Jaihon Spivey, myself, Swalo, and we are here to tell our stories. And it's always a blessing to be able to tell your own story, especially when man said that you cannot tell your story. So with that being said, Jahan, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you? I'm blessed. I can't complain. I'm blessed.
Blessed and highly faithful.
You.
That's it. So Jahan, like I said, I was, just introducing you to the world that, may not know you. Um you wanna introduce yourself to everyone, please, sir?
Yeah, well, for starters, my name is Jaihon Spivey. I was shot in my head. I was in a coma for 6 months. After that, when I woke up, I went to a nurse home where I stayed for 2 years. My brother came and got me. A year then, my brother got locked up. So we need to go back to a nursing home or go homeless. Listening to Clubhouse, I decided to go homeless. I wanted to start over, to build up, to get everything, get everything good going back again. Even though my situation, I just kept going and I did not stop. I still won and I will not stop. Yeah. Oh yeah,
You
one more
said
thing.
that you would rather go homeless.
Yeah, yeah. I have a house. I have my own house now. Actually, this is my second house that I have returned since my homeless. Yeah, go homeless. I was only homeless for a year though. Yeah, by the grace of God, I was only homeless for a year.
So in the midst of you being homeless, can you explain to people the strength that you gain in the midst of you being homeless, whether it's the knowledge, the courage, and the wisdom? Because a lot of people, they don't even understand that that's when you truly grow, is when you have the time to grow spiritually along with God. Self-care is the best care. Self-care is being actually alone with God to understand. So I'm very grateful that I do have you in my life, that I met you, so we can have conversations like this.
At the point of my strength, well, I'm a believer of God and I believe His promises. Uh, I know in the Bible there's over 500 promises that God made. He made a lot. The best thing I can tell somebody to take a promise and hold on to one. But I believe in God, and He said that He will provide me for my needs. And I honestly believe that whatever I had to do to better myself, I did that. It didn't matter. I did it. I did not want to be in a bed, being locked down. and I have kids. And I didn't want my kids to have a bad experience with a parent when I could do for myself. I wanted to be known. All my kids, I still have authority over. They don't look at me as a disabled parent. I can say that they don't. I can still look at them and say, hey, I never get that together. They never saw. But yeah,
Well, I can say that's a blessing. That's a beautiful thing because you don't act like you've been through anything because of the way that you are. You always tell us, everybody on Clubhouse, everybody that you encounter, keep going, don't stop. You always tell us don't give up, regardless of how it may look. So that's inspirational in itself, just for you to come back out of being shot in your face, close range, being homeless, going through a total life reset is what it is. It's a total life reset, but also a blessing to be able to still tell your own story. So, with that being said, how does that make you feel knowing how you inspire people?
how did it make me feel to? Well,
Yes.
my biggest thing is I want people to keep going, to keep moving, to not stop. I want the best for people. To be honest, I move for other people sometimes. I'ma go regardless. But just seeing people go, that helps me better. That helps me a lot. Understanding, watching people go, watching people attain goals, that helps me as well. Yeah.
And Jay, out of all the times we've been on Clubhouse, out of all the hours that we spent on Clubhouse, I've always heard you say it's not about the materialistic things. It's not about the idolatry of things. You never make it about anything materialistic. You make it about being authentically you. You always talk about being genuinely you, and you always talk about unconditional love. So, and sometimes people, they always want to say, "Oh, well, you just have to really just go through a lot in order to understand that." In some cases, it's true. In my case, I did have to go through some things to understand that. But from my understanding, when it came to you, you've always been this way. It just intensified how you show love to everyone else around the world. So when it comes to people that are figuring out their purpose and walking in their destiny, that may feel shame, that may feel, you know, I'm not qualified for this. What are the words that you have for people that feel less than, but everyone has a purpose? For the ones that don't feel they have a purpose? What do you have for them?
Do not count yourself out too early, and do not doubt your words. Do not doubt yourself. You are worth it, you can do it, and you are enough. The opinion does not matter. It doesn't. Understand your direction and where you're trying to go, and do not allow nobody to dictate your actions to forget the end goal. And my goal was to serve a God, period. And main reason why I don't speak about a lot of material things, I mean, when you had it, it ain't nothing. It don't mean nothing. It really don't mean nothing. And because of my incident, I lost a lot of stuff. But the only thing I wanted to keep was the relationship with God and my kids, just to be honest. I mean, I lost a lot of stuff I couldn't get back. But imagine me alone and had God and my kids, I was good. And then I was a firm believer when God said, anything you lost, He would give it back to you. And He did that. Like I said, this is my second house. The only reason why I left the last house because the house was too big. I had to sit, I just left a 6 bedroom house up and downstairs. Actually, the man who lived there, he was a construction owner. So yeah, I didn't know to the house. He made the house real big. He was, I don't know, that house was too big just for myself. But yeah, God will give back to you. So do not doubt yourself and do not count yourself out. Do not do that. Do not count yourself out. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. You cannot count yourself out. And then something else, when you said you were homeless and you chose the homelessness. And some people will choose the homelessness because they know, again, that's where their strength comes from. That's where the next move comes from. So for people that doubt, or they have the lack of um courage, saying I can't do this, I have to have these people. Because a lot of times, and this is what I learned, myself, when we are around others, that's when we tend to make the wrong decisions, because we're listening to what they would do instead of what God called us to do. So when you were going through your homelessness and you were listening to your next direction, how difficult was that for you, or was it one of those things to where you didn't know what you were doing, which direction to go? Did you think you were losing your mind? I mean, because we're just having general conversation to allow everybody to know that what they're going through is normal, whatever normal may be, but because we all have our own different process. And as long as we can tell our own story, that means that we've survived some kind of test and we have a testimony. We've survived some kind of mess and now we have a message to help someone else. So in that, what do you have for everyone when you were at that point, and how did you deal with it?
Well, again, I know exactly what I was doing. See, like I said, I, okay, yeah, so I had two options. Either, like I said, either go homeless or go back to nursing home. Them were only two options I had. Either go homeless or go back to nursing home. And I did not want to go back to nursing home. So I was gonna do whatever I had to do to live comfortably. And that's what I'm doing. I'm not gonna allow nothing to stop me from the direction I'm going. Period. Can nothing stop me. I won't let that stop me. I won't.
And you know what? That's the kind of determination that a lot of us needs. A lot of people, a lot of us, we make excuses on why we cannot, and there's nothing wrong with us. There's so many people that just don't want to because they are so used to people handing stuff down to them. So again, thank you for not giving up. Thank you for always keeping going, not going back to a nursing home. I mean, people, I don't even think people really understand um, how how much of a blessing you are just to be right here to tell your story because of how everything happened.
Yeah.
And yeah, but they're gonna get a chance to hear it. They will get a chance to hear your story as long as you're willing to tell it. You know,
Yeah.
we're here. Um,
Yeah.
because it's a beautiful story of how God truly works. And as long as you trust and believe, and as long as you don't give up, and as long as you keep going forward, not
Right.
just forward, but uphill,
Right.
because you could have very much well just gave up and sat down. You know how many people that I know that are in a wheelchair and they make excuses on why they cannot.
Uh,
But
uh, nah. And to be honest, I didn't see myself being in a wheelchair. With everything done to me that totally happened, and I processed all the information, I still didn't even think about a wheelchair. Now, granted, I had to show, and I could walk, but I thought all I had to do was a gunshot. So that was even my mind. I was thinking that, okay, give it a little bit of time, and I'll be cool, I'll be back to normal. It didn't work all that time. But it wasn't gonna stop me though, because I was in a wheelchair. I didn't let it get to me. I didn't let it get to me to the point I got to give up. I think was so crazy. There are so many videos you see people doing aside of wheelchair. I've been doing that type of stuff. If they can do it, I can do it as well. The same thing with the people. What the nurse is doing, you can do it as well too. But don't base their life, you do not base their life off of your life. But yeah,
but you just said a mouthful though, Jay. Don't base your life off of theirs. If someone else has limitations and you're basing your life off of theirs, then you will have the same type of limitations. I just had that conversation with someone the other day because a lot of us growing up, I used to hear it a lot. Oh, well, you know, my mama has it. So, of course, I'm going to have it. Well, my grandmother has bad knees. So I have no other choice but to have bad knees. We cannot call these things. Those are the things that we have to stop speaking into existence. So again, when you say keep going, don't stop, and you tell people that you can, that is what we need more of. We need more of the positive motivation. We need to teach people to be more self-motivated. Motivate yourself. Tell yourself that, you know, self affirmations. there's so many people that don't even know how to do any type of self affirmations. And that's the one thing that I keep hearing about you. No matter where I am in the clubhouse streets or wherever, social media, Instagram, Facebook, everybody's always saying, thank you for your positive words of encouragement. That's a blessing to be able to do that and not, and you don't want anything out of it except for everybody else to become better. You just want people to know that they are worthy. You want everyone to know that they do have a purpose. That's a genuine heart that you don't really find in 2025. So again, when people say God's not real, I'm looking at an angel right now that a lot of people are just blessed to have you, Jay. And thank you for being you. Because it's hard. It's real hard.
Yeah, yeah. Say you never loved. One of the first testament. But when I'm a find I'm a find a Pacific hero. But like I said, though, just give love to everybody. Like I was saying before I got shot, but before I got shot, I was like that. And I love period. I would want love for the next person. Cause what goes around will come around. If you pass and spreading love, you will get love in return. I know I'm gonna get it regardless. I will say this though, real quick. The reason why I got shot in my head, I, at the wrong place at the wrong time. I was coming out of a grocery store and someone tried to rob me. I think because I looked at the person when I said, give me your money, that was the reason why he shot me. But he didn't give me a chance to give me anything. I thank God I was already in emotion getting inside my car. That was the reason why I was able to drive to the hospital. Well, I drove a block. I was a block away from the hospital. That's when I blacked out. I made it down there. You made it all the way down there. I blacked out, man. I got back away. That's when my son stopped crying.
Now you had your son with you. Now that was very traumatic for the both of you. So for you to get shot close range, and what kind of gun did you say you got shot with, Jay?
A 40 cal.
A 40 caliber, close range. And then you drove yourself and your son to the hospital.
Yeah,
And
yes,
all because of a robbery. Wow. And you are still here to tell your story, to tell everyone how you were blessed to be able to drive yourself and your son by the grace of God to the hospital with a gunshot wound. And you were telling me about your son's cries when you heard him crying.
yeah. Right there, but yeah. Yeah, I guess because I was driving too long. He uh he started crying. You know, he was only 2 years old. He was only two. Yeah, but yeah, he saved me for real because I needed to hear he made it. That was him crying. With him crying, that's what kept it light. But yeah,
And you know, I've always heard something about a child's cry, you know, but it's always been with a mother. But with you being a father and with you saying that's what you needed, that's what you needed. You needed to hear your son to keep you going, to keep you motivated.
yeah,
And I get the reason why, because I didn't know you before any of this. Like I said, I met you on Clubhouse. I listened to how you always talk about your children. And the one thing you always say is how your kids motivate you. And it all makes sense on how and why they motivate you.
yeah.
Because they are your lifeline. They are your lifeline. And so many
They
people
are,
don't
they
get that.
are, they are. That's why I don't care what I'm doing. If my phone rings and wanted to pop up, I stop everything.
Yeah.
It's not so much a guilty shame like I owe them, but regardless, your dad is not too busy to stop doing what you're doing to talk to you. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. Well, it's a blessing. It's a blessing for them to still have you because,
yeah.
again, so many people will make excuses on why they can't. And, you know, they be like, oh, well, you know, my life is not the same. You don't make any excuses. You
Nah,
don't.
nah. I mean, my life is not the same, but so what? That doesn't stop nothing.
It didn't stop your love. It matter of fact, I think it may have increased your love to everybody else, right?
Well, in a way, yes, but in a way, no. Because I sadly say, I only have one lung on one side running through my body. Or whatnot. That's why when I talk, it's like I say something, but at the same time, I gotta take a breath to talk. Once that breath run out, I can't talk no more. If you understand what I mean. But yeah, I got real deep. It got real deep. I just thank God that I'm still alive.
I thank God you alive too. Because you are proof that God is real. You are proof that when men say there's nothing else I can do, God says, well, hold on, wait a minute. I'm not finished. I'm not finished yet. And that's what you're here to tell everybody. You're telling your own story, Jay. Again, when you get a chance to tell your own story, that's a blessing. That means that you are doing exactly what God called you to do because you have a testimony. You've passed it. And now here we are. 2025, the end of 2025, now November, with Jaihon Spivey. And as you say, I got shot in my head to survive something as tragic as being shot in your face, close range, driving yourself and your son to the hospital. All of that could have went tragically wrong. Not just you getting in the car, but you driving. That you did because you had a little fender bender on the way to the hospital, right, Jay?
You said they have a fender bender?
Yeah, when you got to the hospital, did you like run into something or how'd you
No,
stop at
no,
the
no, that's crazy. Nah, I didn't have no accident. I didn't have nothing. When my son stopped crying, I pulled up, I fought, and then I blacked out. But at the same time, somebody was right there. I heard my son crying. They called the police. Remember, the hospital was right down the street, so it was right there. They was
Yeah,
just trying to figure out how this man driving and shot head.
nobody but God.
Yeah, that was God, that was God.
Yeah, nobody but God. Wow. So, well, this is the beginning. This is the beginning of your story. Um, I hope that we can hear way more of your story, especially when it comes to the struggles of being in the hospital. Because you said you were on life support for how long, Jay?
Well, then, I think they had me on lesson point for like 2 weeks. And they wanted to cut the blood. And my mom wouldn't do it though. But what they did was put a straight assignment net that would help me to breathe. And then we get the blood.
Wow. See, they wanted to, but his mom wouldn't do it. So again, when man and doctors and everybody else want to count you out, it's always a wonderful thing to have a good support system, a good team behind you. Because if not, we wouldn't be here to hear your story right now. So thank you. Thank you for your mama being obedient and understanding that God has the final say. Because if she didn't know that God had the final say, we wouldn't be right here where we are. So, wow, Jay, your story, your story is a book. It's a book.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And again, I can't wait until I hear more of it because the struggles of, you know, being on life support, you know, because from my understanding, you can still hear things while you are on life support.
Yeah, when I was in my coma, I still remember everything was going on in the summer coma. She, to me, but that just to me, the coma was like a dream. Even though that I was out the whole time, it was like that coma was a dream to me. When I started waking up, that's when I started seeing stuff. But the whole time in the coma, that was like a dream. A dream to me I feel like I can't forget. Cause I still remember my coma. When I was in the coma, I still remember my dream. Yeah. The whole plan was to make it back home. That was real. That was the whole plan. To make it back home. Yeah.
Wow, thank you for that, Jay. Because like I said, we hear the stories, we hear people, say, but we never know until we actually get a chance to talk to someone that has experience, going through it. So, wow, it's like a dream.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, that's to me, it was like a dream. And inside that dream, Granted, I was doing a lot of stuff, and to be honest, it was really me for real inside the dream. I saw the people, but my mind kept on telling me to make it back home. And my house was down the street, per se. I was way down the street, but to make it back home was down the street. Get to your house. Once you make it back home, everything will be back good. And that's rapping. I made it back home. I took a couple of detours, but I made it back home. Yeah,
Wow. Just make it back home. You made it home and everything all right.
yeah,
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. Just make it back home and everything gonna be all right. But if you didn't make it back home,
yeah, no,
all right. And you know, those dreams actually can tell a lot. But when we're in the dreams, we don't know what they mean. We don't know what they're saying until times like this. You made it back. You made it home. Yeah. Wow. So all right, Jay. Well, you know, we're not gonna stay on here long because this is something I wanna keep going, but at the same time, I don't wanna have it too long. So before we get ready to get out of here, I know you have some positive, inspiring words that you would love to share with the world, especially with everything that we've just talked about. And this is, like I said, this is just the beginning. So to give people inspiration to have them not give up, especially now in 2025, you know, with the struggle, and a lot of people, they're listening to what man is saying. They're listening to the worldly stuff instead of listening to what God is telling them. I've
yeah,
always heard you say that. And you know, we say this when we meet on Saturdays on Clubhouse. It's not about what man says, it's about standing on God's promises. It's about standing on his words.
yeah.
So yeah, so you have any words for him before we get ready to get out of here?
Yeah, real quick, I would say, keep going. I do not stop mentally. Keep going. I do not stop. God did not give up on you, so do not give up on God. Believe in yourself. You are enough. You are worthy. You are everything. Keep going. Don't stop. Do not doubt your words. Do not doubt yourself. And now remember, keep going no matter what.
Keep going no matter what. I can remember there was a time when I first met Jay on Clubhouse, and with me being disabled and me going through a lot of things that I'm going through, the first thing Jay told me was, "Keep going, Swalo. Don't stop. I got you. I got your back. Whatever you need." So when you find people to say whatever you need, it's the words. It's the simple, the smallest words. And like he said, keep going. Don't stop. There's so many people that won't tell you to keep going, don't stop. There's so many people that will tell you, well, I don't think you should, because they don't have faith in themselves. But when you meet people like Jaihon Spivey that has faith in himself, that has faith in Jesus Christ, he will always push you and everyone around him to become better individuals. Because people like Jahan know that it's about your circle becoming better in order for you to become better. If your circle is stagnant, you're stagnant too. So, Jay, thank you for being you. Thank you for not giving up. And thank you for letting the world know that it's not just about one person, it's about all of us growing together. And then check out his music too. Jay, you want to tell everybody about your music on your YouTube channel and everything? Because you got some good music going on too. This is stuff that people don't want to talk about, but these are the blessings that you reap.
Hey, I'm gonna say this so we can make it good. Remember, this was the first episode that got come on.
Gotcha, gotcha. All right, all right. Well, we gonna keep everything going. And again, Jay, thank you for being here. Thank you for not giving up. And you know my saying, love your life on purpose for your purpose. And we all got a purpose, so we got to get out here and work that thing. So anyway, you want to say, you got any closing words saying goodbye before we get out of here, Jay?
Oh yeah, y'all have a good day tonight. Whenever y'all come through, y'all got this. I like the late great said, I should say, yeah, yeah.
Yay, yay, that's it. All right, love y'all to life on purpose. Until we meet again, y'all stay safe. Have a phenomenal rest of your day. And remember, if nobody told you today, God loves you, Jesus loves you, and I love you to life on purpose. And we'll talk to y'all later.